Well, hello. This is Rochelle, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and you'll see more videos like these. Like I said last week on a Saturday, we are catching up because I'm still on August coffee and it is October. Which either says that I'm drinking way too much coffee or I'm crafting way too slow. I think it's the latter. You can never have enough coffee. I have this sheet with little coffee phrases and pictures from Fab Scraps, and I'm going to use that with my first page today. I'm cutting out some of the little, I guess they're supposed to be like 3x4 card type things, little journaling cards or spots, and I'm cutting out some of the ones that I think I'm going to be using. I end up not using all of them, but still they're available for the next time, which is great. So I'm just using my ruler and my blade to cut them out and size them. And this blade, I need to replace the actual blade because it's not cutting the way I want. And I'm just using a scissor, the edge of a scissor, to distress the edges of this paper. So distress the outline just to give it a bit of dimension and a bit of character, I would say. Doing the same with a round piece. The thing that I would say to be careful with when doing this with scissors is that you don't tear into the paper, although I've done that before and it kind of adds to the character, so it doesn't bug me too much. My photo today is of a crafting time at home. I have the extreme privilege of having a very nice coffee machine in my house that I got for my 40th birthday. And so I very much enjoy having a cup of coffee at home. It really is a privilege beyond anything I can describe, because because of this machine and the blend of coffee that I use, it makes a beautiful bean to cup coffee, and it just makes me super deluxe happy. So what I'm going to be doing for the art today is just using those purples and greens that are in this page that I cut out the pieces from, and I am matching them with my little photos. So my photos got my gray mat in the background, the cutting mat that I use, so it has this beautiful purple and green. So the little notebook that I have there is my Ivy Tree Studio Creative Girl notebook that I made, or the journal cover that I made. And so I'm going to be picking up those purples and greens and then adding the gold washi as well to the end. So I've squished out a little bit of Deco Art Americana paint here on my non-stick craft mat. It wipes right off, so that's the great thing about having these non-stick craft mats. And you can get them locally, South African, at any craft shop. Her Annie's, Shortcuts Craft, Cylindy Scrappers, they all stock them. And like I said, they're just great because you literally can work straight onto the surface and wipe it off afterwards, and there's no mess, no fuss. It's fantastic. So I'm just leaving some green little paint stripes and then making some little arty dots here with the purple. Really no rhyme or reason to it. I just wanted a background that I would or that would match my photo and elements. So it's really just dotting and striping or paint stripes, paintbrush marks all over the page, creating this my own pattern paper, if you want to call it that. I do want to add some sort of a coffee thingy to it, so I'll do that in a minute. First, I'm distressing the edges of this photo, which I end up cutting off some of it because it didn't quite work in the layout that I wanted it, or how I wanted it to work, especially with that round piece that I wanted to use there. So I ended up not using the I love coffee in the side of the photo, but putting it as a title kind of thing on top of the photo. You'll see in a minute. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stamping with this deco art that's left over. I've got this little stamp with a coffee, and it's like little steam coming from the coffee. And I'm just taking that steam from the coffee on my acrylic block and picking up some color from this paint that was left over and stamping with that. Don't worry, your stamps survive. I do want to say though that you would need to wash them straight after, so that the acrylic paint doesn't get stuck onto this clear silicone stamp like that. So I did go and wash them straight after. I do the same with this. You make or you warm my heart, sorry. The stamp says you warm my heart. It's also from this little coffee set. I bought it at Hobby X a few years ago. It was one of those loose stamp sets that you could buy at a very discounted price, and that was fantastic. So my background, my pattern paper that I created myself, has these little steam stamps and you warm my heart stamps, and then these paint swatches or brush strokes and these little art marks on, and I'm happy. So now I'm going to be doing something else with the paint that's left over. I'm going to be coloring my doily. The way I would do that is to add some water to the paint. You'll see me spritz some water on there. And at first the water just sat on top of this acrylic paint. Remember, it has like a barrier if it's just the paint and water before you mix it. So I remember that, and then mix it with the water, and then just stick my doily in that paint on top of my craft mat. And then there you see, just wipe it right off, no issue whatsoever. So I'm going to let that doily dry a bit as I carry on with the work here. And this is where I decide this photo isn't quite going to work on this background the way I wanted it. So I edge it with a Pit Artist pen and then decide to cut off the side, because I wanted it I wanted the photo on one side and the little circular on the other side. So I'm going to be backing it up with the doily instead. I pull out the washi, which is the same gold washi that I used in my journal cover. So I put those on the edges of the journal cover because the sheet that I printed for the journal cover is just A4 and the journal cover is actually a bit larger, so I added the washi tape at the bottom and at the top of this A4 page to make the journal cover. There is a video, go check it out. And then I'm using this glue tape runner and I am super unhappy with it. It's one that I purchased from Westpac. It's, yeah, I don't know, the thing, I'd never used it before, and as I used it, it popped open and the spring fell out, and I tried and tried and tried and could not get this spring to go back in. And so I decided to just go back to the Crazy Crafts one that you can also get at Westpac. They usually come in a pack of 2, which is actually great. And I'm sticking down that doily as well, or the half of the doily that I'm doing. I'm not huge on doilies. I mean, I wouldn't use them in every single project, but it fits so well with coffee that I just, you have to. I'm sorry. And that I could color these with the paint was great. And so I'm just adding it for a bit of extra texture and dimension, because this is a very flat page in the sense of just being paint and stamps. So I'm using it as some embellishment. I really wanted to use that piece that said, "I love you, coffee." And so I ended up using it just on the top of this photo there. It probably wasn't necessary, but I still enjoyed it. And so yeah, this is kind of my life. I do work full-time, and the crafting is on the side and at night, and a cup of coffee, like I said, with crafting. Can there be anything more perfect? I pulled out some Distress Oxide. I think this is Seeded Preserves, the color, and I'm stamping my date using that same date stamp set that I've been using since the beginning. Can you believe, like I just forgot to mention, this is our 3rd notebook. So, like I said, I think maybe I just really drink way too much coffee. No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. So my daughter found this little Facebook clip or YouTube clip of this little girl mimicking her mother's love for coffee, and she just loves it. So Ruth loves coffee as much as I do, and so she liked to say what that girl said, and she said, "Can I tell you a joke? Decaf." I had to laugh. That was very funny. Anywho, I'm journaling out the moment. Like I said, happy times is crafting and coffee, and any kind of crafting. So I like I said, the time in the Word when I do Bible journaling is super precious to me. And this little round circle here that says I'm living the dream with this girl in the coffee cup, it really is how I feel when I get to come home from work and craft and drink coffee. It's fantastic. I'm using some of the Felicity Jane stamps from, I think this is the Megan kit. No, this is the Shea kit. I'm using some stamps from the Shea kit or Shea collection from Felicity Jane. And then I'm grabbing my Creative Retreat Alphas. These are staple for me. And I really, really, really enjoy using these alpha letters in all my spreads pretty much. I do need to do some creative editing on these stamps because I don't have an O, so I just use the 0 to spell out coffee, and then I'm going to write in my own handwriting at home because, yeah, it's just fantastic. I'm using a Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen to write at home, and there you go. That is my spread pretty much. Just going to outline a few things, and that's that. I want to mention quickly the photo that I'm printing is from my Canon Zoe Mini. There is a short unboxing and review on this product. I love this little printer. It is amazing, and I get beautiful photos every time. And what's a bonus is that it's on sticky paper, or the zinc paper that you use for it is sticky, so you can just put it on your page without any glue. Yay! So there you go. That's that for this page. Let's move on to our next date of coffee. This one is a bit of a coffee with a twist. Can we say that? So it's a dessert and not a coffee, but it's a coffee dessert. Okay, so there we go. I'm using my new loved technique. This is a makeup or a foundation contour brush that I'm picking up gelatos with and stenciling it through this Room 5 graphic stencil to create some background for this page. Just a little bit of reasoning behind the colors and pages or background papers that I used, or I'm getting, should I say. This is a sea themed, or reason being, my husband and I love going to Ocean Basket. It's one of our favorite restaurants. It is a predominantly seafood restaurant, which is, we love sushi and we love fish and chips. I usually have the seared salmon though, because I like that. It's a seared salmon salad. It's just yummy. And my husband likes the just traditional fish and chips. Is that a South African thing, fish and chips? I don't even know. So anyways, they have this coffee dessert, and I'm going to try and pronounce it right. Affogato? I don't know. Anyways, it's a coffee-based dessert. So it has either vanilla sorbet or ice cream with a shot of hot espresso over. And Ocean Basket serves it with whole beans on the top, and it's just absolutely yummy. It's like the best of both worlds, ice cream and coffee. How great. So like I said, my husband and I do date night frequently. We try and do it frequently. It doesn't always happen, but at least once a month. And somehow there's always food or coffee involved, so that's awesome, I think. And so literally what I'm doing is I'm taking these, I think these are Prima papers, some of them Prima marketing papers. They're from a very old collection. I think it's called the French Riviera collection. I'm not even sure. But you can use any kind of paper, and I'm just using some offcuts that I had left over from journals or making journals, and just layering them in bits and pieces so that I could have this background for my photo. I wanted it to be textured, so I tore some of the edges. I really wanted to use this ledger type paper in the journaling section, and so I layered that on top of the striped brown craft paper, and that was my journaling spot, which I ended up journaling on all kinds of different spots, but yeah, lots of journaling on this page. And then I'm just going to fussy cut these shells. Not going to make you watch me fussy cut them, but there you go. And then just cutting off, I still wanted to have some of this craft paper for future use, so I'm just cutting this edge so that only the edge sticks out, and then I don't waste any of that paper. Plus I'm not adding as much weight and bulk to this notebook in the beginning. So you'll see me fuss with these little shells in various places with various ways, and in the end decide on doing it a completely different way anyways. But I think that added a nice little touch to this little journaling spot. Tucking them under and in between the layers just gives some dimension to your page, and that is it's just super cute. And I'm just like Rochelle, commit already, so sticking them down, making a decision. Okay, so I'm going to be journaling on top of that journaling spot, and then I'm going to be journaling on the side in these white spaces as well. I am taking what is left of the gelatos on top of this stencil and adding some water with a spray, and then just taking that stencil and smushing it onto my page as a whole, so that it has these little water-based patterns on. So quite like that. I'm looking for some alpha letters and decide on this. This is an old Illustrated Faith set of alpha letters that comes with their starter kit or Bible journaling starter kit. And so I'm using some of those alpha letters to spell out Ocean Basket as my title of the place or the coffee event. And whenever I have limited space, I kind of start from the back of the word just to make sure that I've got enough space to get this in there. It would be ideal to put this onto a ruler and kind of space it out before I stick it down. But yeah, knowing me, that hardly ever happens. So just spelling out Ocean Basket. I am doing some alpha letters, what do you call it? Creative editing. Because I didn't have E's, so I made the F's E's, and I didn't have a T, I only had an I, so I made the I a T, so Ocean Basket. There you go. Now I wanted to get to the definition of affogato, I don't even know how to say that, but there you go. Getting to the definition, and what I'm doing here is sticking down, using alpha letters, alpha stickers, sticking down the word, and then I'm going to be taking a Wikipedia definition of what the word is or what this dessert is, so that I can remember. Hello, Grace. Yes, she spotted the page. Like, she's the only art cat I know. So sticking down the word and then taking my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen. The reason why I love using these pens is because they don't bleed, number one, and number two, they are waterproof and light proof, or light fast, should I say light proof? Waterproof and light fast, India ink, and so it doesn't go anywhere if water accidentally gets on it. So there you go. And I'm just writing out the definition as per Wikipedia. Apparently some of these desserts include a form of alcohol. Mine did not. I want you to rest assured. Mine did not, and this is just a shot of espresso over the ice cream. Yum, vanilla ice cream. And so that's the definition then, and I'm going to be taking that white space on the top left, and I'm going to be adding my journaling about the date, or the night where we were. And at the bottom right, I'm going to be just writing out a thank you to my husband for these date nights. They are so super special to me. I really, really appreciate it more than I can even say. This is the Creative Retreat pigment ink in mink. The color is mink, and I absolutely love it. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I don't have a different brown ink than oxides, and what I don't like about the oxides is that it moves with water, and so this one, being a pigment ink, is a bit more secure if something should happen. So I'm taking that Faber-Castell Petit Artist pen, this time in a navy blue. I think it's the, yeah, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the blue, but it's there. And so it stands out a bit more from that brown background than the brown would have. So that's why I'm using that. And now I'm taking my circle punch, and I want some of these boat steering wheels. I don't know, what are they called? And shells in little half circles or slightly more than a half circle to be, you know, just off the edges and sticking out in weird places, because I had this weird white space and it just wasn't exactly what I wanted to have, the look that I wanted to have. So I just added these little elements for some dimension and some variation, should I say. So I cut them out with my circle punch. I think this is a 1-inch circle punch, probably. I need to get a 2-inch one, or at least a 1.5-inch one. Yeah, and why? Yeah, anyway, so there you go. Circle punch, cutting out in just slightly more than halves, and putting them in various places. I didn't use all of the ones I cut out, but most of them I did, so there you go, there's that. And then, like I said, gonna journal at the bottom just a little thank you to my husband for these wonderful times, using a variety of my handwriting and some words from this stamp set, which is a Heidi Swap planner stamp set, and it had just beautiful sentiments saying that I'm thankful for each moment and every special memory. Just thanking him for taking me out on these dates, even after many years of marriage. He still does that for me, and yeah, it's just special beyond words. And so I'm just writing out that I love these times together. And then I'm going to be taking some Nuvo crystal drops, and I'm going to be adding it around the round or the circle pieces that I cut out with my circle punch, just to add some dimension to the page. And I love Nuvo crystal drops. I'm going to be doing it in a brown, and that is that for this page. I've stamped my date, I've stamped all kinds of other things, and so I'm calling it done. Thank you so much for joining me. I know that this video was kind of hard to voice over. My words just kind of got stuck. Thanks for sticking it out with me. Do stay tuned for more Saturday installments of the Great Coffee Chronicles. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.